Hi Capricorn, welcome to your June 2019 General Tarot reading. It's Rena here. Kind of doing these late in the month. Just lots of doing a lot of private readings. You know, I've actually been amazed at how many public readings I posted this month because I've been doing a lot of private readings. So that was good to know. I must have done it on the front end of the month. Now I'm kind of making up for lost time. Because we are, I mean, you know, these types of readings are very time sensitive, obviously. So I can't do these in 2 weeks. It's not going to work very well. Okay. So, all minor arcana cards, maybe this is an ongoing situation and just kind of like more day-to-day happenings. The heart of the matter is the Five of Cups. This is a card of disappointment. You know, some readers mention the 2 cups that the person is turning their back on. And the fact that, you know, crying over spilled milk, but maybe not seeing that there's some milk that is right there, right for the taking. With Capricorn, you know, associating it with your particular sun sign. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and I think Saturn has a tendency to be kind of pessimistic. So maybe you didn't get exactly what you wanted, but you have something that you wanted, and you're a little bit, you know, I didn't get my pony, so I'm going to cry about it. And it could be just an attitude adjustment that you need to make on your part. I'm just going to keep going. Obviously, we can look at different areas. We can look at relationships, and I do have a card in the past position that almost suggests that it's relationship oriented, but I like to, in the general readings, since I already do love readings, to try to associate it with career matters. I will be doing life path readings. I've been doing them for 2 months periods, like in one reading, and they are more philosophical in nature, but definitely associated with the direction in your life path direction. So I will be doing those in the coming days. So look to that particular reading if you feel that this is too much focusing on relationships and you don't care about that area. Check back on my channel. The past position here is the 2 of Cups, and this is a card of forgiveness, of even reuniting with somebody, or of commitment. So how does grief and commitment connect? You know, one possibility is, is kind of like, I was going to say sad to me in a way, poignant, is something that is like you mourning the loss of a dream. For instance, you may have heard the term, you can never enter the same stream twice. And basically what this means is that you can't go back into a situation and have it be where you left off. I know they say that, and I will say one thing. I disagree with that statement. If you have a soulmate or a partner that, let's say you are just separated for a while because maybe you're just the person's working or they're in the military or something. I don't know. But it's not like some kind of a break and then you get back together. But I mean, a split and then you just like everything picks up. I don't think in most cases that would really work. But if you're somebody that just is separated from your loved one, and when you get back together, or your friend, you're just like picking up where you left off. Yes, I do believe you can do that. But if you've had a fracture with somebody, you know, somehow you've been alienated from somebody, I don't believe that you can simply just recreate what you had before. It's going to be altered. It's going to be different. And so that may have happened. You may have had this hope that this ex of yours, that you would get back together and it would just be how it should be. And it didn't turn out that way. It was more of a fantasy than a reality. And, you know, I'm not surprised, because I do think that life doesn't work that way. I think that we grow. And so does the other person. And we may grow in different directions. And, you know, somehow, and even somebody who is a friend, who you just lost touch with, you know, maybe from college or high school. And you always wondered what happened to him, and you got back in contact, maybe through the infamous Facebook. And then you realized, wow, we're just not there. Maybe you did have a rift and you kissed and made up, but it just isn't there. If you're a widow or widower and you're mourning the loss of your spouse, there may be somebody from your past that you have been thinking about reconnecting with, and that would be a good thing, because we have here as the higher message the Page of Wands, which is good news, you know, happy communications. Also, possibly if you have been in some kind of a state of grief, maybe this is just something that has been a long time, because somebody that you made a commitment to broke off the engagement or broke off the relationship, or perhaps you experienced some kind of a you made a commitment, you know, you expressed the desire for that and the person turned you down. But there's good news on the horizon. This is the spiritual message. As a spiritual message, it's not meant to be just like kind of mundane advice or just what is coming into being, but perhaps more philosophically or higher level, the spiritual. And that could possibly relate to you doing something that you are really enthusiastic about. So this could be like a new relationship, and engaging in one and telling you this is how you know that you're with the right person, is that you're going to feel this sense of optimism. But also, to, hang in there. You're going to hear from this person, and you're going to be very happy when you hear from this person. What crosses you is the Nine of Cups. This is the card of wish fulfillment, but it's in the challenged position. So even in the upright position, it can be like a card of self-indulgence. So, is there other stuff going on in your life, Capricorn, that you need to take care of? Even with the Five of Cups, it's funny. They have this, I wish I could have saved this thing. I don't know where I saw it. I read so much. I think I'm sure it was on the internet, but it was like how each of the cups relate to drinking problems or something. And then they say, like, one of them, like the Five of Cups can, I think, be drinking because you're trying to drown your sorrows. And, you know, the thing is that people do, you know, people have drinking problems for different reasons. Obviously, it ends with the same result. But the Nine of Cups could be saying that it's gotten out of control now. And that, you know, maybe that's something that you need to kind of get a handle on. But in other possibilities here, let's say you got looked over for a promotion and you feel that sense of, especially as a Capricorn, like, I really, you know, as a, you know, climbing that ladder of success, you might have felt like it was some kind of indictment or statement about your talents, and you took it to heart. In the past position, this, well, you know, more than a promotion, because this might indicate a partnership. This may be like that sense of like betrayal from a business partner, and feeling that sense of like letdown because you thought you were going to do a good job. Well, even that Page of Wands, some kind of good news surrounding that. And maybe the Nine of Cups is they have a problem. It's really something they won't be able to get a handle on until they choose to take care of this. Like the rest of their life is going to hell till they choose to take care of this problem. The advice, or what's coming in, is the King of Swords. Sometimes this can be a legal, that you know, take this into a legal situation. You know, for instance, if the Five of Cups relates to like like a marriage ending, if that were the case, this may have been after perhaps a like you took back the person, maybe they cheated or something like that, and you had high hopes, or maybe they had promised they had quit drinking and you find out that they haven't. So you're like, okay, now it's time to bring in the big boys here. The King of Swords can also point to you needing to kind of like not allow your emotions to get the best of you to make the decision that you need to make. And it may be hard. You may be like, I can't do this because this is going to... We've already been through this. We've already been through a separation. Now, maybe you have children and you have to really... you have to really do what's best for everyone involved, but you can't allow yourself to be swayed by emotion at this time. If you need to get help for yourself, the same thing applies. You know, one of the things I think happens when people do lose control through addiction is that their emotions need to be healed. You know, something inside. So it's not just about quitting drinking. You know, they call that the dry drunk, the person who quits and they really haven't they haven't healed emotionally, and so they still are very you know, maybe too controlled. The Knight of Swords too can be somebody who is, you know, out of touch with their feelings. Maybe you need to be more in touch with your feelings. You are an earth sign, Capricorn, and Saturn isn't exactly warm and fuzzy. So maybe there's a disappointment in your relationship, but you are at least in part to blame because you don't know how to open up emotionally. And the other person, sometimes people cheat because they feel that they're being rejected, whether it's emotionally or physically, and they don't know how, that maybe they're emotionally immature, and that's the first thing that they decide to do is run to a new person to make them feel desirable. So perhaps you need to be more demonstrative in relationships. The outcome is the Page of Swords. This is a card of like, kind of like the spy, kind of like keeping, you know, your wits about you and seeing, watching your back. If you start a legal case and this is a workplace situation, you need to start documenting what's going on so that people can't come in and lie about what, because they can say you're just imagining things, and you can prove that they did something that they weren't supposed to do. If this is romantic and you are possibly reuniting with somebody, if you are a widower, be aware that your emotions may be raw and you don't, you may have high hopes for, your childhood sweetheart coming back in your life, but because you may be emotionally vulnerable, don't allow yourself to just believe what you're told. Make sure that, the person is single, if this is somebody from your past, because there might be a good reason why they're in your past and you're kind of like glossing over it because you just want that emotional sense of fulfillment because you feel like you lost something, but you can't just regain it just because you're dealing with somebody. You can't just regain that sense just because you're bringing a new person into your life. You can't be guaranteed that that's going to work out. People are not interchangeable. So if you're like kind of mourning the loss of somebody, whether through death or through a divorce or something like that, maybe you can have a new relationship. Hopefully you've allowed time for mourning, but nobody is replaceable with anybody else. It doesn't work that way. And that's okay. Thank God for that, because it means that everybody is special. Okay, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. My website is rainamoonastrology.com. Take care. Bye.